Good morning. A quick one today. We have the Parsha of Haazinu this week, which the entire Parsha is really an epic poem describing the journey of the Jewish people, the physical and spiritual journey, the mission of the Jewish people. And one of the things that Moshe Rabbeinu says to them is, Moses says, he says, Zechor Yomot Olam, remember eternity. And this is a strange thing to say to somebody. How are you supposed to remember eternity? We normally think of remembering as something that's happened. We don't have any memories of eternity. What is he asking us to remember? And there are two very different approaches that I saw which complement each other beautifully. The first one is the Maggid of Dubno, that he says there was a very wealthy man who started a jewelry business. He did all of the capital, and he in fact was the jewelry buyer, but he brought in a partner to manage the marketing and the day-to-day running of the business. And they agreed that it would be a 90-10 split on the profits. The wealthy man would get the 90%, his marketing partner would get 10%. Anyway, the business does very well, and the marketing partner comes home one day, and his wife is very upset with him. She says, "Why aren't you bringing in more money? Why aren't I wearing the kind of clothes that this wealthy man's wife is wearing? Why aren't I getting the same kinds of car that she's getting?" He says, "Honey, you don't understand. That's not how the split works. He gets 90, I get 10. She doesn't believe him." So back to the other businessman, to his partner, he says, "Listen, can you please show me the books? I'd like to make a photocopy and take it home." So his friend smiles. He says, "Okay, you want to see how much you have?" And he says, "No, I want to show my wife how much I don't have." You see, it's important to remember what we have. It's also important to remember what we don't have. And the Maggid of Dubno says there's a huge amount that we have in this life. We have life itself. We have working brains. We have working bodies. We have, thank God, all of these wonderful things. We have the incredible and unique opportunity to do mitzvot. But you know one thing we don't have? Eternity. That's what we have to remember. That's what we can never lose sight of. Remember the days. Remember that you don't have them. We know that our days are numbered. We've had a very serious time now of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, where we really, I hope, gained that truth that life is not guaranteed. As special as it is, it's not guaranteed. And please God, we should all have long and productive and happy lives, but there are no promises in that. And that's the first thing to remember. If there's something you need to do, do it now. Don't say, in 5 years' time I will X, in 10 years' time I will Y. If it's something that's important to you, if it's something you want to achieve in your life, start working on it today. That's take number one. Remember eternity, remember you don't have it. The Chofetz Chaim has a different take on it. He says, remember that you do have eternity. Not in this world, but in the next world. And he gives a cute analogy. He says, imagine there's a little bird that eats one seed a day. That's all it eats, one little seed a day. He says so, and let's say this bird lives forever, right? All things being equal. So he says you have a coffee cup filled with those seeds. How long would the bird take to eat it? Well, seeds are small, coffee cups are also small, but it's large enough to hold several hundred of them, so probably about a year. He says, alright, what if you had an entire room full of these little seeds? Well, an entire room can hold hundreds of thousands, which would mean hundreds of years, probably, more than 300 years, 1,000 years, very long time. He says, great. Now imagine the entire volume of the earth. And this bird is eating them one a day. How long would that take? Billions, millions, trillions of years. That would take an incredible, think about how many grains of sand there are on the beach. Imagine each one of those is a seed, and we're only getting started. It's an incredible number. He says you need to know that is nothing like the size of eternity. Eternity is much, much bigger than that. And that is how long we are going to have in the next world to enjoy or regret the consequences of our decisions. The good decisions that we will make will last for eternity. The bad decisions, God forbid, unless we change them, can also last for eternity. Remember, the effect of your decisions, the effect of your spiritual decisions, will be eternal. And so those are the two remembrances captured in the eternity. Remember eternity. Remember that you don't have it now, you have a limited time. but you will have it in the next world. And you'll have all of eternity to look back and say, I'm so glad I made the right decision. Have a wonderful Shabbos.